Underdog Daily, the Badge Bros, hanging out on the Black and Yellow Dog app, the platform of the people, talking a little best ball action over the weekend there, talking a little recap of Week 15 slate in general. No winner's circle today. And then, man, a little weird week ahead here. We got a 5-game NBA, then we got NBA Cup tomorrow. So obviously we're not going to have a slate on the site, and normally Tuesdays is a decent day for us. So I don't know, maybe we'll talk a little NFL best ball or something like that. Playoff best ball there. Look at our advancing teams, maybe something like that, if there are any. But what's good, my friend? What's good?
Just licking the wounds from Week 15. Why is every Week 15 like this? Every single one is like this.
Yeah,
it's the most like out of nowhere fucking guy dropping the craziest score that we have ever seen in the history of the NFL. And then it's not just one. And it's just these insane pairings. And it's never the guys that did well over the course of the season ever.
Right.
Why does this game have to be this way? How come?
I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm excited to look. I haven't looked yet. I don't think I had very much Trevor Lawrence or Kyle Pitts. Who else mattered outside of that?
ETN mattered a lot.
Okay.
ETN mattered a lot. Hendo mattered a ton.
Well, that's good for me, maybe.
Okay. Yeah. Obviously the tight ends, like 3 tight ends. Like if you didn't have Goddard, McBride, or Pitts, I mean, GFNL to you, for sure. But yeah, I mean, it's just a week of like there was a week of very tight answers and very few right answers this week. And I hate shit like that,
Yeah.
I like this. Yeah.
Very, very little score matching and deviation where like the raw points just mattered so much. Like we even saw that on the BR slate where it was like, yeah, there's a bunch of guys who scored like 20 at the running back position or like 18 through 23, but none of them mattered because all you needed was Cook and ETN put together, basically.
Right. Yeah. Basically. So, yeah, just a crazy week, but you got to be feeling good getting through to next week, really, no matter what, right? Like getting to the semis is, this is when the sweats really start for a lot of people. So, we'll see. We'll get into it, but yeah, just a crazy week 15. And it just feels like it's always like this.
Yeah, no, it does feel like it is always like this. I'm trying to think back to some other ones. Like I was thinking back to the year that Mike Evans had the huge playoff game and he was like the have to have it guy. But I think that was week 16. Same with the Jamar Chase one. I was thinking back. Jamar Chase.
Cooper, was that week 16?
Yeah, Amari Cooper was
week
15 or 16. Yeah, one of those two. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's definitely been some huge outlier playoff scores over the last couple of years that have really swayed things, right? Like Alvin Kamara in the finals in the last week for his league. Yeah.
Yeah, still the highest scoring half PPR game ever, I think.
Wow.
Pretty sure.
Crazy, man. Yeah, Eggers, I'd love to say on to puck, it's over, but man, we just traded away the greatest player in franchise history, so it's hard to even get excited about that right now on a personal level. But yeah, we'll definitely be mixing in some of that. Nez, no winner circle today, so I think we just start with some community winners and the results of the weekend there. Maybe look at the best ball stuff alongside it. Your boy didn't get a ton of volume in this weekend. You guys were all sick, and you guys finished and closed the bomb and the fullback dive on Saturday before I could get to it on Sunday morning. There, I was doing multiple Christmas parties Saturday, today, or this weekend. So light week for your boy. Gets 38 total in there. Got 10 of the mini Royale. Got 27 in the main. One of the Badge Bros Brawl in there, and then I did 4 or 5 of the goal line stands right at the buzzer. So super light week here, but we could take a look at the winners in the main contest there, and then kind of like talk through it. Your kind of like macro thoughts on the weekend before we look at isolated winners.
Well, I think the winners are really interesting because the top 3 do not have Trevor Lawrence. And I mean, he was only 5% drafted, but still these quarterbacks on these teams have like half the points Trevor Lawrence did, as you will soon find out. So that was pretty wild. But I mean, no real major takeaways other than, I had my best DeBomb week of the year. So that's
there we go.
top 20 in DeBomb. Chill out. Watch out. I'm coming. We're heating up.
I love it.
No, I thought this was a pretty fun week to draft BRs. And just super high scoring, like I think everybody expected it to be, but maybe just not from the pieces that you needed to have, so to speak.
Yeah, that Baltimore game fell flat on its face, and that buried a lot of people at the front end of draft boards for sure, where it really limited the combos that you needed in the first 3 rounds because you couldn't have had like some of the Henry pieces. And then Devontae Adams getting hurt before he did anything really limited the range of outcomes of like needing Puka and Kyron from that game or needing Amon-Ra from that game there. So yeah, James Berry 74 here, the champ. Actually, great week for the Scroll the F Downs, not going to lie. If you guys had the gems in the masterclass there, Pete did a hell of a job. And then the show on Friday, aged like wine with some of the Scroll variety stuff there. We talked up Trey McBride, how we were like, this is the best price tag we've ever seen on it. And it was the guy we wanted to be overweight. I was overweight him significantly in my small sample. Jared Goff was on our Scroll list. You get the skinny stack to Amon-Ra, Puka on the bring back, easy game. Then you get the Trey McBride high scoring tight end on the slate there. And then you go ETN and Travion Henderson. Also could have been James Cook in there, was matching scores in that threshold as well. Beautiful lineup here. Very well crafted, very intelligent, and not deviating too hard from for an ownership stake here outside of the golf stuff.
Yeah. I mean, this has kind of been the formula we've seen a lot this year. It's just low on quarterback stacked, and this guy did it. I mean, nobody's overly surprised by this team, other than like 3 ETN receiving touchdowns is just crazy. But like, overall though, like this is a team I think anybody could have got to, and obviously wishes they would have. So shout out to James here.
There's a couple weird things about the ETN touchdowns. Obviously, the way in which they were scored were significantly different. Like one was like a wheel route, one was like a screen on like a 2nd and long or 3rd and long that then he just breaks off for 60 yards and stuff like that. But it was a funny week with receiving touchdowns from running backs because we also got like the Mossing-esque grab from like Josh Jacobs, who just never scores receiving touchdowns, let alone catches the football, and just decides to do one in like the craziest fashion of all time. Like there was just some quirky things about the weekend that was and the games in general.
Yeah, no, that is a good point, man. Your guy, Josh Jacobs, who never catches touchdowns, caught an absolute mossing, as you mentioned. That was wild.
The Amon-Ra stuff was great. It wasn't the easiest thing in the world to pair Puka and Amon-Ra together, but it happened enough that, this is not abnormal. I had a couple iterations of it in my limited run, but depending, like we talked about that top end of the draft board, how it was like a very fluid top 5, and then there was Amon-Ra, and then what you could kind of like do whatever you wanted after that. And both you and I were proponents of like pulling up Trey McBride. So all that stuff aged pretty lovely there. We get a 3-way duping for 2nd there. This team is Jay Roto's. It's the exact same team, but just the quarterback. And that's the difference in the ownership discount at the quarterback there, guys, where it's just like Stafford, you're duped if you do it with Stafford. Sure, it's a GM combo, but it's duped if you do it with Stafford and you also don't win the contest. You scroll one bridge farther and do it with Jared Goff, and you get like a 65% ownership discount on the isolated player. But then from a combinatorial standpoint, you get a discount by it doesn't add up like these guys do. Beautiful stuff.
Yeah, for real.
Keep pushing here. Nez Mini Royale. I know our guy up here, the hot Sizzos. He also had a really good weekend in some other contests, which I'll bring up in a half second there. But JMO paired with Puka was enough to get it done in the smaller field iteration here. Trey McBride's going to be a staple of almost all of these lineups. And then the ETN Cook and then naked Jalen Hurts was enough to get it done in this one.
Yeah. Shout out to Sizzos there. The routing of the Raiders there was just easily seen, and the Raiders are worse than I think anybody could have possibly imagined. Just an absolutely terrible team.
I'm going to ask you a question here, Nez. I'm thinking about this because we brought up Raiders, and then I'm thinking Brock Bowers, and then I'm thinking about, best ball season right now. Is Trey McBride a bull case or a bear case for elite tight end in the best ball discourse? Or is it, let me just leave it at that. Let me frame it that way. Do you think his performance in week 15 of this year and his performance all season long is a bull case or a bear case for elite tight end?
I mean, kind of, isn't it like an obvious bull case? Like, how are you seeing what Trey McBride has done and thinking like this is bad for elite tight end? I guess like what is the bear argument?
I would say that it didn't matter as much as we thought it would matter in terms of like advancing teams and how many he advanced, and then the fact that the score was matched this week by like the likes of Kyle Pitts. So like the argument for elite tight end is when they hit ceiling, nothing matters because they break the slate, and it wasn't true.
I mean, that's just like bad luck, but I mean, dude, here's a stat. This is from Cards Mark D on the X platform.
Okay.
He's the first tight end in NFL history with 100 catches, 1,000 yards, and 10 touchdowns through 14 games.
Mm-hmm. Amazing. Incredible season. Did it matter for best ball?
I mean, not necessarily.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's their bull case is like, hey, like this guy, like you can't match that score. And then, and then it can't be matched. I mean, I'm not necessarily team elite tight end. I am I'm literally not team elite tight end. So, but I mean, hey, like would I want Trey McBride on my best ball teams this year? Yeah.
Right.
I think I would.
I don't know. Yeah. I'm just thinking through it out loud. Like I was just thinking about it as it came up there, and I don't really have a stance on it either way. I just find it funny that like, yeah, man, he's doing like shit that like Gronk and Kelsey didn't even do. And he has a 31 ball in half point PPR week 15. And like none of it really matters all that much just because of the game we play. It's sick.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to fact check you while we continue on.
Okay.
But, no, you're not wrong in terms of like how much did it really matter? Like, can you quantify how much it mattered? And yeah, I think it might hurt the thesis of the elite tight end bros. But I am team not elite tight ends for reasons that I just don't really feel like getting into. But it's not that complicated, also.
Yeah. Shout out David doing his usual Monday thing, rolling on in, dropping off 5 Bad Froze memberships. Appreciate you, my friend. Thank you so much for that. Team AZ Cards, team tall enough quarterback to see over the line of scrimmage. Yeah, I think that's mattered. Also, the fact that he leads all of football in dropbacks. Just the fact that he just goes out there and throws it 45 plus times a game. Actually, Levitan had a stat this morning about that basically he's dropping back to pass at a rate that is equivalent to both quarterbacks in Steelers games.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Like when I say never Steelers, it has nothing to do with you, Nez. This has always been there.
Oh, I thought it was a personal vendetta, actually.
Yeah. But we will talk Steelers at half second because they are on Monday Night Football tonight. It looks like a little snow on the ground for that one too. Yeah, shout out to the Hot Sizzos in that one. Take a look at the Bash Bros Brawl right quick here. TBS in here, followed up by TTS MIT. Kind of weird that we just get like weird little acronym names at the top here. A CJ Stroud, who was in Pete's Hidden Gems article as a 0.83%, scroll the F down. He was one of the cash game viable chalk quarterbacks on the redacted site. And yeah, man, not enough people getting to him in our lobbies. And that's reflected in this one. You do a skinny stack with Nico Collins, who has a monster touchdown to start off the slate and then caps off his game with a second touchdown there. Trey McBride on the bring back. and then you pair it nicely with that Puka and Amon-Ra St. Brown. And because he spent so much capital on the wide receiver and the tight end, he goes ahead and gets a discount on ownership, even though James Cook was running back 6 or whatever. He gets a discount on the ownership there. Yeah, awesome stuff. Good lineup.
Yeah, I mean, CJ Stroud in the winner is pretty cool.
Yeah,
but he had a good game. He had a good game. Shout out to Nico Collins as well. Grown ass man, indeed.
Nice. Yeah, the people got on me because it was recency bias of seeing him in the flesh there.
Nez, it was.
Yeah, but dude looks special out there sometimes, man. He
looks special right away. But like, yeah. Man, you really do deserve. Like, I know the prize pool is what it is. We need to give. If you win a 3-person draft contest with CJ Stroud, though, like, you really need more. You deserve more money than $1,000. Like, the fucking stones there. That is just so awesome.
So good, so good. We got a couple more Badge Bros memberships rolling in. Dat Mavis, aka Matt, who had a nice showing in a couple of the contests there. I'll bring it up in a half second. Dropping off 5 at our door as well. And then 1 from our guy, Davis, the Dirt Bike King, as well. Goal line stand, got a couple in here. The miso tuna, baby. We got friends and family all at the top.
Yeah, look at this. Look at the top of this board, dude. Good Lord.
Baby. This is so good. We got the miso tuna right up here. We got Dave, who should have qualified for the Dog Bowl. We got Jay Baconator, who was there. Schwayne Bomber, who was there. Gunnar Ross, who was there. Chris, who was there, Car Park, who's shout out to the Troll Coat, Dirty Hands, Clean Money, right on my shirt. T. Pollock's up here as well. This is a who's who of the people on the site. Miso Millionaire takes it down here with that Trevor Lawrence unstacked Nez, unstacked Trevor Lawrence in the 12 persons. How we feeling about the Trevor Lawrence, Josh Jacobs, Tyrone Tracy, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Chris Olave, and Trey McBride team?
Yeah, I mean. Yeah, Josh Jacobs buried me, which that's just quite unfortunate for him to run half the length of the field. He had like 6 carries for 16 yards before that, and then runs half the length of the field for a touchdown. Moss is a dude in the end zone for another touchdown. I mean, congratulations to the Josh Jacobs bros, but fuck off.
Des, every time you play Josh Jacobs, you have to be weary and mindful of the 40-yard mossing in the end zone and the 60-yard house calls. This is who the archetype of Josh Jacobs is.
Oh my God, dude. Just unbelievable. But shout out to Tuna. Naked Trevor Lawrence. If only there was a guy that told people to take more naked quarterbacks in these games, and if only I would do more of that, maybe I could have a better season too. But it is what it is. I mean, sick team, dude. Sick team. Shout out to Tyrone Tracy. Tyrone Tracy, though, was like one of my favorite picks in these goal line stands. Nice. Had a bunch of them, but I didn't win $10,000.
Well said, dude. Yeah, he did turn out to be quite the pick there. Rushing touchdown on that first drive there that looked quite electric. Some good sellies too from him. Yeah, this is becoming a bit of a bit here as Michael chimes in with the hat tip to Josh Jacobs. The clip that has been clipped on the show for Off and On the Clock. And then Pete has then tweeted and then put out on socials and stuff. That clip has been bad for like 8 of 10 weeks recently. Like it has been the polar opposite of that clip because we had some funny ones so far here. So the fade the clip is low key becoming a little ship chasing-esque right now.
Yeah, no doubt. But the content has to be made.
All right, dude. Let's push on. I don't have any of the other leaderboards. If you have some of the other stuff that you want to bring up, we can. I will jump over to the X Machine here just for a second to give the Hot Sizzos some love. He took down the $3 NBA there as well, and then he took down multiple contests. We showed the $5,000 win, but he gets this one in. I don't know which contest this is. Oh, onside kick. He says it right there. So he gets the onside kick. he gets the quarterback sneak, and he gets the mini royale.
Shit,
so
dude.
yeah, monster day for the hot Sizzos, and he all attributes it to the swapping of the avatar, Nez. 'Tis the season for the avatar swap.
I did it too. I also swapped. Come on. I'm ready. I'm ready for mine.
And shout out to Matt. God. Matt just dropped off 5 Badge Bros memberships there. He gets a runner-up finish in the extra point single entry contest there. 10 into 600 with the Goff. Saquon. Looks like Williams. So Kyron and JMO. St. Brown as the double. Kyron on the bring back. And then McBride being the tight end that you needed there. So beautifully well-constructed lineup there as well from our guy. We also got the Haterade. Nez, we got the Haterade core home for people. Haterade core. So hopefully you guys played along that. Also directionally accurate on the targets one. Man, we did the targets with Chase, and we got that one. We got the hook of the 0.5 on the Michael Wilson one, but we got the higher on the JMO one. We got the higher on. Man, we were flirting with the idea right there. So yeah, and then our main core, if we had just gone with the Jonathan Taylor over the Judkins, we would have done that too. So, man, directionally accurate, dude.
Yeah, I know. Damn, but we were on it, and at least we got the Haterade.
Yes, absolutely. And shout out to my guy Len Keith if he's hanging out in the chat there. He DM'd me a double slider on Friday night. I was having a couple wobblies with the family there, and I said, you know what? I trust this guy's inputs. Let's see what happens. And I took home a nice almost 50Xer there that he set me up with. So shout out to our guy Len Keith on the 50X slide that helped pay for Friday evening there.
Len Keith, man, the slide king.
The king. All right, Nez. I think it's time to talk a little hoops. I think we saved the best ball stuff for tomorrow when it's all said and done. I'm not itching to find out where I'm at right now. I'm not itching to have a sweat this evening. I know I got a lot of Dolphins. I know Fins up, baby, because Waddle and HN were like 2 of my highest drafted. So I'm just assuming I'm going to need a little bit of Fins up this evening. But we only got an hour and a half today. Let's make sure we get all of the basketball stuff taken care of there, and we will talk basketball tomorrow. Macro on the slate here, Nez. I've got about 30 done. Where are you at in your process?
I think I'm right there with you. I think I'm around 30 right now as well. Just did some batches of like 10 at a time, multi-tabling. And yeah, I'm at, looks like 26. That's a strange number to be at, but 26 main, 10 in the buzzer beater. So got a little bit to go. We'll see how many I do today.
Okay.
I'm not trying to sit down at the computer and draft all day with the fam here.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, a little bit of a weird week with that and the holidays and this sort of thing. So, and tomorrow's light NBA schedule. So we'll sit down and figure things out. But Wednesday most likely will be the paywall show. Thursday will be forward facing because it's a monster NBA slate. And Tuesday will be forward facing with something tomorrow. But we haven't fully decided yet. I am realizing. I was wondering why viewership was a little light today, and everybody's watching Davis do best ball drafts with Pat right now. Playoff best ball drafts, I guess. Couldn't be me. Mm-hmm. We're hoops guys. Right. That's the biggest thing here. First of all, we haven't had, apart from the weekend, on our program, we haven't had a big slate like this in a while. Big in parentheses. It's only 5 gamers, but it is still just a Joker slate here. So we got the Jokic flat 101 there this evening. We got the Anthony Davis Q tag, which is going to play a big role because I imagine he would project as probably the second best play on the slate, maybe the third best play on the slate if we knew he was going this evening. And then James Harden gets a little bit of a cupcake matchup with a pace-up environment with Memphis, despite it still being the lowest total on the slate there. He's got a Q tag for, I believe it's the second time this season that we've seen a James Harden Q tag there. So, yeah, man, that's kind of like the macro before we go into the game by game is just kind of like the big Q tags at the top end with AD and Harden and how to kind of like match the Joker teams because Joker's in the highest total games on the slate with a 1-point spread as well. Yeah, just thoughts on the front end of draft boards.
Technically, he's in the second highest.
Oh, is it?
Behind
Okay.
Jazz and Mavs. Jazz and Mavs is 242.
Oh, okay, yeah. Three points higher. You're right. My bad.
Yeah, just a few. But yeah, I mean, we've got the Clippers on the slate, so they're pretty much always going to have the lowest total, but against the Grizzlies, so we kind of like that for the Clippers. And otherwise, we have some really tight games here. No game really projects to be a blowout. Yeah, this is it's an interesting slate, and it has a really, really gross 6th round that I'm sort of very much, maybe not agnostic isn't the word, but just like I just don't really care about it. Like I'm just kind of mixing and matching a little bit in the 6th round. Okay. But I don't think there's any plays that necessarily stand out as like really awesome, really good plays at the moment in the 6th round. And yeah, it's a Joker slate. On top of it all, it is a Joker slate. But I have right now Cade 2 and then AD 3.
Okay. Cade 2 and then AD 3. Okay. I'm a little bit concerned about the AD stuff, just given that it is Utah. Like I know this basketball team needs wins, and they're fighting for any win that they can get, and they're only 1.5 point favorites on the road. Just given the fact that it's Utah here, and Utah without some center help there, and then the fact that it is that same calf that he dealt with and missed 14 games with. I am looking up a little bit of like the visuals of it here so people can see. It was this Brooklyn game, and you guys could see he kind of, gets stepped on by his own guy and then just kind of like pulls up like this. I don't know, man. I was a little more bearish on it than that, where I had him down at like 5 or 6 and was taking like Sengun and JB and even Scotty over him sometime. I don't know. That's just like a lean on the slate, but he is definitely, if he goes tonight, he's probably the 101 of guys who can match scores with Joker from the right side of the board, right?
Yeah, I think so. As far as ceilings go against Utah, he definitely fits that mold.
Okay. Yeah, I'm a little bit concerned just because it's re-aggravation of the same one, and then all the coach speak around it before was like, yeah, we're not going to let him play unless he's 100% healthy, blah, blah, blah. Like, and then he did that questionable tag, doubtful tag. Then all of a sudden he was out for another 2 weeks. Then he got the Q tag again. The fact that it's the same calf, I'm like a little bit like win her up for this one. So I put Cooper Flag on the cover because I don't think it necessarily directly impacts him if AD is in or out. Like obviously the usage rate bumps ever so slightly, but I just thought it was like a little bit of a pivot and an interesting conversation in the later rounds there. The Harden one, I don't really have a lean on.
Yeah, I don't either. I'm just playing him as in because he just plays a lot. He just typically plays through these games. So I'm playing him as in. I was not taking him like ahead of ADP in the morning because you don't have to. So just kind of was trying to let him fall and see what kind of sick little Harden teams I could get in the morning. That was my plan, but I like him more than Kawhi if he plays.
Yeah, I agree with you. Kawhi had the really nice box score last time out, killed me on Thursday night, I believe it was there, because a lot of these teams haven't played in a while, but I think it was Thursday night slate that he killed me on because I basically faded him and took KD over him every damn time in the front end of the second round there, and that aged like milk. Okay, cool. Ready to go game by game, Nez, or is there anything else you want to say about ADP and fluidity of Q tags, etc.?
No, we can just get right into it.
All right, cool. Beautiful interface, unabated here. First game on the slate here, Boston 2-point favorites according to this one. Unabated line is 1.5 point favorites, a 230 total there for the Celtics versus the Pistons there. It's kind of crazy. If we got this game, when both teams were like pretty close to full, obviously we're dealing with like a Pritchard Q tag in this situation that we'll talk through in a second. But if we got this game like a month ago, I think the Celtics would have been like 6.5 point dogs at home,
Yeah, whenever the Pistons were really rolling and the Celtics were struggling, probably something like that.
Yeah, and the fact that like people thought everyone still had the mental hangover that Boston was going to be bad this year without Tatum. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Just interesting to see like the paradigm shift ever so slightly.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get the most recent NBA injury report. For some reason, it's not giving me the 231. Okay. Pistons have nothing to worry about. All G Leaguers just listed as out, so nothing to see there. And then on the Celtics side, Peyton Pritchard has the Q tag. This is a late edition Q tag, as everything will be today if we get anything else to come up, because everyone is on a minimum of 2 days rest. Boston's on 3 days rest in this one. So the Q tag on Pritchard is, let me just confirm here, right neck spasm. I didn't know you could just get right neck. Let's just go with neck spasm on that one. And then it's just G Leaguers listed as out. So 2 draftable pieces in every single draft on the Celtics side here, and then 2 draftable pieces on the Pistons side every single draft. And then in the 6th round, there's some mix and match with the Pritchard Q tag, with Kada, and with Asar Thompson in the last round there. And maybe we can go a bit deeper than that. So let's start with the Pistons side first. Where are you at on Detroit today?
Right now, it's really just Cade at 2 and Duren right around ADP. Duren really has fallen off quite a bit as far as his like fantasy outputs go, but looks to be priced pretty fairly today. As far as ADP goes, he is just ahead of Derek White, and I think I may prefer Derek White over Duren, but just because there's some little bit of extra ceiling there based on like what we've seen in the last few games. But Duren's a fine pick regardless. Like it's a pretty strong tier of Duren and White compared to like the field.
Duren's most recent box score in that Atlanta game, I think they beat the brakes off him early, and then he didn't play his last rotation.
They did. Yeah, those, and then Jalen Johnson still got home and outscored Cade despite getting blown out.
Yeah, looking at that one there, Jalen Johnson did still get a stint in the 4th there. Not that it matters for our slate, but for whatever reason, he plays a team high 33 and a half. Yeah, that's funny.
Weird.
Shout out to the Miso Tuna rolling on through, the Miso Millionaire here, dropping off 10 Badge Bros memberships at the door. Appreciate you, man. Our goal line stand champ from this week. The naked T-Law will always get home there. Thank you, my friend. Appreciate your services to the community here and your participation in the Discord. Truly a beauty in the chats. Nez, anything else? Detroit stuff here. They're full now, man. Like, can you play Tobias in the last round? Asar Thompson, he's always kind of like soft capped in that mid-20s, but he'll probably get the on-ball stuff versus JB tonight. So, like, I don't know. Can you take him against JB and force JB to go left for once in his life, or what?
Yeah, I mean, he's like the only one that I am considering in the 6th round. That's basically it. I'm not like running to the podium to grab Asar at ADP 33.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I think Tobias will come back into our life at some point when he plays greater than 20, but we just haven't seen it recently. Obviously, last time was a game script thing, but coming back off the injury, then only played 21. Like, Tobias is going to have slates that matter for us down the stretch here on like 5 gamers and stuff, but I'm not sure tonight is the spot for it. I think it's probably just 3 here for us. Duncan Robinson can get hot from 3, but it's really hard for him to put up a score that matters.
No, exactly. He's not in my player pool. It's just Asar as the 3rd Piston. So it's like interesting whenever we're dealing with the 5-game slate, not a lot of games, and like there's just like absolutely nobody I want outside of like 3 players on one team. It's like, okay, this is going to be a pretty thin slate. Like,
good shouts there. JB is kind of in that upper echelon tier of like 4 or 5. What you do with him in and around there, kind of like your discretion. Derek White's going to push up as the day goes on here if this Pritchard stuff looms real. And if Pritchard misses shoot around there, just with the downgrade there. Jordan Walsh is a guy we talked about him last show, and he's playing really good ball right now. But man, the 3-point rate right now is just like his shooting percentage is not sustainable right now. So it's kind of like, what do we do with a dude who's super hot, but then is also really good at defense and going to play a shit ton of minutes if it's a competitive game? And then Keita gets the Duren treatment, which is not the most desirable spot in the world, but he's been playing some good ball, and they'll probably need his size to match up with. If he plays like 30 minutes tonight, definitely could matter in the 6th round. Talk me through your favorites and least favorites, dude.
Let's see here. Jordan Walsh. Shout out to Jordan Walsh. The other night, put up a nice little score. He's a dog. He's a dog in the paint there for the Celtics, but I don't know, man. It doesn't necessarily seem like he's going to be in my life tonight, especially at ADP 32, where he was going so much early, and now I think he's like not going really at all, which is how it should be. Personally, I mean, it's a short slate, but Jordan Walsh does not look like he should be getting drafted today. His props did go up. I'll give him that much. His props did go up, maybe from the Peyton Q tag. I'm not entirely sure, but he opened at like 14.5 PRA. It's gone up to 16. So good for him. Good for him. But no Jordan Walsh, but JB, not to bury the lead there. JB, I think is a great pick today. Definitely underdrafted by everybody on the Dog app, where like at first runs, because of the Q tag on AD, I was like, well, let me put JB like ahead of him and see if I can get 80 to fall. And I did a little bit, but then I was like, I changed it back. But I love Jaylen Brown today. He's, I think, player 4. I have him over Sengun. So big JB fan. He's just been really good. He's just been really good, man. Talk about it all the time. JB is that dude. Really, really good game here between him and the Pistons. So it should be fun to watch. Derek White, I talked about like being in that Jalen Duren tier where they are like I don't think I can put anybody ahead of Derek White behind him. But I also don't necessarily want to like take Derek White ahead of anybody ahead of him. Maybe Hero, but I don't believe that. Just Duren. Him and Duren, I think, are interchangeable there. And then the Peyton Pritchard cute tag. Go ahead if you have something to say here.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, like, if Peyton sits, does that like boost anything in this range for you? Like, because like the models are gonna push up Derek White, and you're gonna get CLV if Peyton sits, but it's gonna be like 7 spots, and it's over a tier of guys that, in a vacuum, we prefer to take on a nightly basis than Derek White. And to be fair to Derek White, man, like he hasn't been great this year. Like he's
shooting really bad.
Yeah.
No, but you're right. I think getting proactive and putting Derek White over Duren and Hero is probably a good idea.
Okay.
Yeah. Thanks for calling that out, because that is very true. I don't think a late Q tag on Peyton Pritchard after all this rest is good.
Right.
I don't think anybody would call that good. So yeah, and if Peyton Pritchard does sit, obviously Derek White a boost. Man, I just don't know. Instinctively you would think Anthony Simons becomes playable, but like, does he?
Yeah. No. Yeah. I don't know, man. I think the dream's dead with him right now for a while.
I agree.
We keep saying it. He's gonna have one of these nights where their first unit, they're gonna have one of these nights where their first unit is lacking scoring in a significant way, and then they're just like, all right, man, we're down 15, like just go fill it up. And he goes out there and he does like the 28, 4-3 and matters in the 6th round. But it's like, I mean, I'm not going to chase it all season long for that one isolated time it happens. Like, they clearly don't like him right now.
You're not wrong, man. You're not wrong. It's like they're finally seeing him for who he is, and he's on a good team, so now he can't really get the stats more or less. So yeah, probably maybe I don't know, a little bit of 6th round Anthony, because the 6th round is so bad.
Sure, yeah.
Sits, but like I would not get out ahead of it. I don't think it's anything to get out ahead of. You could swap your Peyton Pritchard to Anthony now. You know,
Sure,
that's how I would treat it.
Yeah. Any love for Keita or Walsh in the last round there? I think almost everybody's going to downgrade Walsh just based on the projection. But if he goes out and he goes like 4 for 8 from 3 again, and he just quickly goes, he just quickly racks up like 3 categories worth of stats in the first rotation. I don't know. We might be kicking ourselves a little bit here. It's kind of like a better defensive version of Josh Hart right now, where it's like, I don't know how to fucking project this, but he's killing us. He's killing us.
Yeah, no, he has been. Yeah, man. Keita, though, 6th round mix-in, not like a must draft by any means.
Sure.
Yeah, dude, Walsh. Yeah. It just seems so crazy. But I don't know, man. When these guys are hot, they're hot. And he's playing minutes, so I'm not gonna have a lot of them. Just straight up, I'm not gonna have a lot of them. But
okay, yeah. Checks out. Apparently, all you got to do is ask nicely around here. Chip says, "Do it again." To the Miso, and the Miso does it again, baby. Miso Tuna rolls through with 10 more Batch Roast memberships. Just ask nicely, and it happens. Sup to Johnny Footballs. I saw him with a runner-up the other night there. Actually, shout out to the GOAT. T-Box took down an NBA slate on Saturday or Sunday there. I saw it on the X machine there. So,
yep.
Yeah. What up, Noah? What up? Okay, cool. Yeah, I think that's good synopsis on the situation here. Where are you ranking Pritchard in your auto drafts and your runs right now?
Did I move him yet? Like 30 behind
30?
Jabari, behind Filipowski. Yeah.
Yeah, seems fine to me. Seems fine. Give you some swappability. He'll project slightly better than that if you get some CLV. There you go.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right, let's keep pushing, dude. What I thought was going to be a higher total than this, but for my money, the fastest game on the slate here, Raptors and Heat, a 235.5, 6 by way of the Heat at home. Both of these teams with a little bit of revenge in their hearts, as after being eliminated in the quarterfinals 5 days ago of the NBA Cup that everybody cares so much about. I'm actually excited for that game tomorrow night. I'm not gonna lie.
It's gonna be sweet.
I'm a little bit excited for the Cup. I'm not gonna lie. But yeah. We got a Raptors team that is still dealing without RJ Barrett here, and then all the G Leaguers are listed out. Jamison Battle has the probable tag. He had a doubtful tag, and then ended up playing the following game, and then now has the ability to play this evening. The G Leaguers are listed out. They got a little bit of burn there. AJ Lawson and Chucky Hepburn got a little bit of burn at the tail end of that previous game. And then on the Heat side, we got Tyler Hero listed as available. Pelly Larson, who had been starting prior to Hero coming back, is listed out in this one. And then Drew Smith is listed available. Those are the only rotation pieces that really matter. Obviously, still no Terry Rozier there. Let's start with the Heat side here. We got Bam with like the evergreen decision of he probably won't project quite as well as his ADP, but obviously never Bam until it is always Bam. So we can have that conversation. Shout out to you for getting the Powell versus Wiggins thing right on the previous slate. We can have that one. Hero might be a casualty of the Derek White drafters now. And then we have no idea what to do with Jaime Jaquez Jr. minutes off the bench. They are extremely volatile right now. You would think on a short slate like this that we would want to be jamming some Jaquez, some Ware, some Davion in the last round just for the ceiling potential. But nobody seems to be doing so. So walk me through it.
Yeah. Bam start out a little. I mean, he's still, in my opinion, a little overdrafted. Okay. But Bam's gonna Bam, dude. It really doesn't matter. He's gonna kill you no matter what. If he's too cheap, you draft him. kills you. He's too expensive. You fade him, he kills you. So it doesn't matter what you do. Bam will kill you. But I have in my ranks Harden over Bam, which is now ADP. So I am respecting Bam Adebayo, and I am putting him ahead of Jamal Murray at the moment.
Okay.
Hero kind of talked about, he's sort of like in like a very tight tier. I don't have him over anybody at ADP right now.
Sure.
He's still kind of waiting to, I mean, I don't know what's the usage is just like not over. It's not like insane for Hero.
Yeah. I got to take here. Davion's been doing a ton of handling, and Hero they've kind of just kept Hero in the Pelly Larson role where he's just like a shooter, like honest to God. Like he's just like, they're not running high screen and roll stuff with the ball in Hero's hands. That's what the basketball guys are talking about. The hand on the court right now is they're not running enough pick and roll with Hero as lead handler, and they're spreading the handling role amongst like kind of like everybody else because they have a bunch of guys who can handle and a bunch of guys who can get their shot up first. So the assist rates are way down because the ball, like the touch time, is just not as big as it once was for him. Yeah.
That checks out.
Yeah, a little bit of a byproduct of like learning how to play with Norm for the first time, first full season with Wiggins. They also had some good shit going for them prior to Hero coming back. And now I think they're just kind of playing the same way they were playing before, but Hero is just Pelly Larson, basically.
That's wild.
Yeah.
They should let Hero be Hero and then everybody else be Pelly Larson. But
right. Yeah, exactly.
I'm not Spole. Yeah, so Hero is like a fine pick at ADP. I don't think he's like, if you want to get overweight Hero, like I wouldn't blame you, man. This seems like, in my head, this does seem like a pretty sick spot for Hero, and I think you could see a Hero blow up game. But there's not a whole lot projection wise, props wise that cosigns that for me.
Yeah,
like he should, like you said, the assists are down. They're down big time, and he needs more assists. And what can you really, there's not a whole lot that you can look at to say, oh, he's going to have more assists here. The only thing that you can look at is say like, oh, well, maybe Hero gets hot from three here. And Hero really like goes off, and he's putting up 35 from the field instead of his usual. So
which effectively just turns him into Duncan Robinson.
You gotta stop being disrespectful to Tyler Hero.
Okay, here you go. Since coming back, so he's played 4 games.
Okay.
Passes made. Davion Mitchell 59.7. Jaime Jaquez 53.9. So second unit, sixth man up is running through Jaime. Hero with 35 thereafter.
Wow. All right.
Yeah. Let's see. Potential assists on the team since Hero's been back. Davion 13.3. Jaime 9.2. Nikola Jovic 4.8. Drew Smith 4.7. Andrews 4.4. Wiggins. Andrew Wiggins, 4.4. Bam, 3.9. Norm, 3.8. Then Tyler Hero. Tyler Hero's number is the exact same as Pelly Larson at 3.7.
That number is?
Potential assists.
Okay.
Yeah. So he's just, when he's getting it, he's catch and shoot, let it go, or he's just not getting lead touch time is effectively what's happening.
I kind of want to put him over John Morant the more I think about it, though.
Okay.
I have John Morant over Tyler Hero because I'm just like, fuck it, whatever. Like, let me just like let it be random. But yeah, I don't know. There's just like, this is just like this time last year, I would love this spot for Tyler Hero, and I right now to me this is like a take a higher in the pick'em lobby versus like jamming him in the draft games type of spot. We're like, oh, I think he can like have a good game here, but like how good of a game can he have? I don't know. He's a problem. All that to be said, though, like I'm drafting a lot of Miami Heat on this slate, though, just to like move off Hero here. Like Powell, I think is a great pick right now. I have him a little ahead of ADP, definitely ahead of Santi Aldama. Like I'm sorry. Do we expect Santi to play more without ED like that much more? that he's going to be that much of a producer in this spot. I'm skeptical personally.
Likewise. Yeah, I think Santi, if it got to my head, I was going to say Santi's the worst ADP on the board.
I know, but I know. But
yeah.
there's no such things don't work out anymore. That's not the way that things roll out anymore. Wiggins, good pick as well. It's just a fun game, man. This is like one of the most fun games on the slate here, in my opinion. So I'm gonna have a lot from both sides of this game here. Davion in the 6th round, I just started to include in my 6th round runs, and then I didn't do any where, but you did kind of open my third eye a little bit talking about.
Yeah, I don't even know if I believe it because it's just kind of like backup 5 run right now. I do think I like the Davion click more. I like the Jaime click more. The minutes for Ware and Jaime are just so volatile. Like Davion's the safest in the last round, and we talked about the handling. Revenge game there too for him and Norm Powell, former Raptors there. But yeah, the Ware, like if you're starved for ceiling on a slate, like what if he just gets this 29? What if he gets this 25 and makes good on it against a guy like Sandro who pulls away from the basket, or a guy like Jakob Poeltl who's got a bad back?
Yeah, that would equal a good game in my opinion.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, cool. I think that's probably all that needs to be said on Miami. Anything else that we missed? Maybe. Just thinking.
No, I don't think so. Just spending a lot of time like waffling about Tyler Hero. Like,
right.
Man, yeah. Like everything says that like everything up to this point has been not good. And, there's not a whole lot to indicate that things are going to get better anytime soon. But, man, this does seem like a good spot, does it not? Like, I don't know, man. Maybe you just kind of play Tyler Hero above the field and see if he can like get hot again. I don't know.
Okay. Yeah, both these teams in recent memory have been playing super tight, but they were cup games, and now they've had 5 days off too. So I am excited to kind of see, what it looks like tonight. But in terms of like leans, I'm like pretty heavy, like just the starters, and then Ware and Jaime in the last round. A little bit of Davion as well for like ceiling output. I think Davion's minutes are the safest of the bunch, but the ceiling would definitely stem from the other two. Cool.
Right.
All right, let's talk about the Raptors, dude. My first couple rounds, I ended up with way too much Jakob Poeltl in the last round there. I think it's fine.
It's bad.
I think it's fine. I think it'll project half decently. I'm just so scared of the minute ceiling, especially when they have all 3 centers available. Like his back is just not 100% right. He's been vocal about that early in the season. Then he missed that window of time. Now he comes back and he only plays like 24 minutes a night and stuff. You probably do need the size with, Bam, Ware combos and that sort of deal. But like, man, I kind of want to be overweight the top end group here. BI's had a couple really nice box scores back to back with 30 real life basketball points in those ones. And those were tough wing defense matchups. Like, I kind of want to be over on IQ and BI for sure at the field on Scotty. And then I got to pump the brakes a little bit on the Poeltl stuff in the last round, I think, because I was getting too concentrated.
I don't think you do.
Okay. All right. You like the spot
I do not.
for Poeltl?
Poeltl, I think, is just like one of the best like 6th round picks on the board right now.
Okay.
Just the rates, the rates in a good spot against Miami, like let this guy run hot on blocks and just see what happens, right? They're just like very few guys I think that can like be the absolute right answer as opposed to just like hoping you don't like, you're either, in my opinion, grabbing Poeltl, decent floor. Obviously the minutes aren't great, but I like the rates and I like the pace with a chance to absolutely smash. Or you're like hoping that you don't draft a guy that kills your team.
That's a good point. Yeah.
That's kind of what I'm seeing the 6th round look like tonight. And you really just want Poeltl to run hot on stocks, which is kind of mostly always the case, but especially now with these short minutes. But yeah, I do not think he's a bad pick at all, especially whenever it's looking like he's going to be like 50% drafted. That's some pretty sick leverage on the field. The rest of these Raptors, though, are all great picks. Like I said, man, this is a game that I'm gravitating to quite a bit. Scotty, I have him over Şengün. Ingram, I have a couple spots ahead of ADP. And IQ, I have a couple spots ahead of ADP as well. So I'm overweight all these guys and plan to be.
Yeah, no, I kind of like it, man. It feels like a good spot for them. Obviously, still no RJ there. Anyone else that you would get to on this team? Like, obviously, Jamal Shed started with IQ out, but IQ's back from the illness there and had 5 days off. Yeah, I imagine he returns back to that like low 20s threshold, but gives you potentials off the bench. Sandro, I like him, but it's only really when there's only two centers or at least only one center. When they have all three of them here, I'll stick to Jakob Poeltl in the last round.
Yeah, there's nothing for me here. Okay. Yeah. CMB is cool, but not yet.
Yeah, for sure. Maybe we'll get some fun rookies in this next one here. Highest total on the slate, according to Unabated, 241.5 here. This is the Jazz and the Dallas Mavericks. Mavericks are 2-point favorites in their model there. First things first, we just got an update on shoot around courtesy of Unabated for this one. Anthony Davis and Daniel Gafford present at shoot around Monday. Does that change anything in your mental model for them?
It makes you a little more excited about AD, for sure. They didn't adjust his percentage to play, but he was there.
Okay, sounds good to me. Any like concerns with like the Gafford stuff at all? Like, it doesn't really matter for us, but like if they do like the 80 at the 4 instead of starting at the 5, like, is there anything in your mind for that or no?
It doesn't change anything for me, really.
Okay.
I'm not drafting Gafford.
Okay, sounds good. Brandon Williams was present at shoot around, but then did get a Q tag. So he got a downgrade at shoot around as well. I don't have the most recent injury report. Give me 1 second. I'll see what that is, but I think we're probably expecting Nembhard to start anyways. Right Achilles soreness, questionable tag there. It's an ankle for Gafford, and then we talked about the calf for AD. So, yeah, let's talk about the Mavs here first. They've been doing a little bit of Najee Marshall starting stuff. PJ Washington's most recent box score got cut down because of foul trouble. Cooper Flagg has kind of really come into his own in recent memory. I mean, he's still so effing young. We might have been a little too harsh on him early. So, yeah, let's talk about the Flagg, PJ, Najee, and then if there's anything else draftable for you.
Yeah, the AD 3 for me right now. Just chasing it. Swaps are brutal, so you are gonna take an L. But like, I don't know, man. What do they say about scared money? It does or does not make money. Can't remember. But Cooper Flagg against the Jazz, with or without AD, very clearly, very good pick.
Okay.
Getting stocks, has the ability to score pretty easily against this Utah team that plays very fast, very fun spot. Yeah, I am big on Flagg today. PJ Washington, goddamn, man, the foul trouble is just fucking evergreen for this dude. But another great play. Love him. Have a lot of him. I've got him ahead of ADP. Yes, I do. And Najee Marshall in the 6th round. Who says no?
Yeah, I would agree with you in Najee. I was more excited about Najee Marshall in the 6th round when I was thinking there was going to be no AD and they needed the size. So that got me a little bit more excited. Now I kind of almost prefer him off the bench a little bit there.
Okay.
Yeah, but if Brandon Williams can't go this evening and that Q tag doesn't play through that, you know, Ryan Nembhard in the last round feels fine. I mean, like, it's primarily just, you know, dimes and a little bit of scoring there. But yeah, I think I'll stick mainly to like the PJ flag and a little bit of Najee. But I would scroll to a Nembhard if Brandon Williams was out. I liked the Najee more if AD misses. That
Okay.
was kind of my take. Yeah.
Okay. I respect it.
Just looking up a little bit of Raptors stuff. Good assist ratio, good. Just based on JCam said it in the chat there. Yeah, net defensive rating, they're kind of like a top 10 team. They were the Heat are up there as well. They were like 5th in transition defense. So like for a fast game and getting turnovers, that stacks up pretty well with Miami. Miami's a top 5 defensive net rating team right now. It's actually crazy to see the difference between the Thunder are so good that they're like 7 or 8 points above like the Rockets, who are number 2. And then all of the teams in the top 10 from 2 through 10 are separated by like fractions of points.
Yeah, they're breaking that chart.
It's fucking crazy, man. Crazy. Yeah, I don't know. Raptors basically had a stretch, but a lot of that stretch was with RJ there. And like RJ's pretty good transition defender if memory serves. Yeah. I don't know. Some of it's made up for the fact with that like the Heat are the fastest in pace in all of basketball.
Yeah. I guess I didn't expect to hear those numbers, but I'm still playing it this way.
Yeah. Yeah, they've just been very good all around, JCam saying. Yeah. I think we did our due diligence on the Dallas side. If you get no AD, I mean, I'm sorry to tell everybody you're probably just drawing stone dead with those lineups, but if you're going to salvage some min cash potential with them, who would you swap to this evening? Would it be someone from this game?
If Gafford plays, perhaps, even though he's been out so many games, just thinking about Najee Marshall, I think.
Yeah, I think it'd just be Najee for me. I think Najee would become like 1-0-1 swap.
Yeah. Scratch everything I said. Najee Marshall.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Let's move to the Jazz side there. I almost put Laurie on the cover tonight, dude. They're missing some size. Not a given that Filipowski will start at the 5 there, but everyone drafting seems to think that will be the case. But obviously with no Nurkic and no Walker Kessler there, I was finding the most recent injury report. That's what I was doing for the Jazz side. No Walker Kessler, no George Yang still, no Yusuf Nurkic, none of the G Leaguers, and Oscar Thibault is listed available as a 2-way G League guy. So, yeah, man, Ace Bailey's minutes have been up recently. Filipowski is kind of like hit or miss as a 5. Like, he's not like a 1-for-1. Sometimes they close with him. Sometimes they close without him. Sometimes he starts. Sometimes he doesn't. Like, there's a non-zero chance that they could do something funky with Kev Love starting this evening or whatever. So be mindful that this is a pretty fragile ADP for Filipowski, but I kind of like it, to be honest. I kind of like it this evening, but there is a chance that they could play small and just the way Will Hardy operates, running deep, that sort of thing. Keynote, Keontae George will probably project pretty well in this range. Yeah, I kind of like both Laurie and George at ADP and maybe slightly above. And then I really like Ace Bailey as a flyer in the last round. Your thoughts on the Jazz, Nez?
Yeah. I am very high on Laurie and Keynote here, ahead of ADP. Kyle, I've kind of got like at ADP, just kind of hoping that people. I mean, like I'm not a Kyle Filipowski fan at all, but I mean, I expect him to start and get some minutes here without Nurk. So playing some Kyle. I liked Ace Bailey in the 6th round as well. I thought he made quite a bit of sense here. Is Kevin Love going to be vintage Kevin Love again tonight? I don't know. I think he needs like 2 weeks off after his performance.
Nice.
I like Ace Bailey though, man. I mean, 2 rookies going at it, I think could be pretty fun. So yeah, I'm with you, man. I thought Ace Bailey in the 6th made a lot of sense, just given the state of the 6th round. Like, I don't think you need to get 20% Ace Bailey, but I think he should be mixed in. Like, look at these minutes here, three games straight of 30 minutes. Obviously, like, not a whole lot of production to see from it, but I think Ace Bailey can put together a pretty nice game, So 30 minutes of Ace Bailey. Sure, I'll take that in the 6th round. You're not necessarily getting all those minutes in the 6th tonight.
Yeah, I fully agree with you, man. I like it, man. I'm a fan of it as well. Just thinking through some stuff in most recent rotations for them, they did start Svi alongside Nurk and Filipowski in the OKC game. It was just interesting that they went like big like that, but the counter from OKC was the fact that they started Jay Will and Chet. So kind of like a more traditional double big OKC lineup where like Jay Will just stepped in for Hartenstein. Obviously, SGA didn't play that game. Collier as first guy up. I mean, they spent a pick on him. They liked him. He played 6 minutes and had a rotation that just ended his night, basically. Dash 14. Just a terrible run for him and Sensabaugh off the bench. And then they just didn't play the rest of the night. That's crazy.
Wow.
Yeah, I kind of agree with this, that Ace Bailey wishes he was Najee Marshall on this slate. Yeah, I think I kind of like Najee in a vacuum more in the 6th. I guess Svi's minutes are the safest back here, but I'm not sure there's anybody else I'm jumping up and down to play.
No, I'm not. I'm not. I don't have anybody else other than these 4.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. But you could get. Yeah, I don't know. It's probably just a bridge too far. Now I'm going a little too gal brain. I was like thinking about where we could get second unit handling and stuff, and I'm not sure it matters, even though this is the highest total on the slate. This game kind of reminds me of the Pels game on Wednesday, I guess, of last week, where it was like they played to 144 points. They played the highest total game on the slate, and they were spread so thin that like nobody broke the slate and nobody like fully mattered from it. And that was a Joker slate as well.
Mm-hmm. I didn't play that one not too heavily.
Yeah, kind of feels similar to that in this regard, where it's like, I think even if this game plays to total and we get AD, like it's pretty hard for me to see more than like 2 pieces of this game being like optimal,
I get it. I do get it. Yeah, I'm with you. Like,
okay.
I do think Laurie and Keynote can both like succeed, but I know I get what I totally understand the sentiment. But I am really bullish Mavs on this one.
Okay, cool. Any rules for pairing them together? Like if you take AD in the first, like can you take Flag in the second or no?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Totally fine with it.
Yeah. No worries there.
Okay, cool. Last 2 games on the slate here, Nez. We got Nuggets and Rockets. This is the game that I'm going to be watching tonight for sure. Yep. 237.5 here, 1.5 by way of the Jokic-led Nuggets. Rockets moving to altitude in this one. Sengun's box scores in recent memory have been so beautiful. KD's had kind of like 2 rough games in a row there. He had one really good third quarter. But outside of that, KD just not looking as great as he did a couple weeks ago. But that coincided with Amen playing like 41 minutes and having his best output of the season. Only 1 stock, but almost neared a triple-double in that one, 29 and 8. Denny Avdia-like numbers out there for him. Jabari Smith Jr. is going a decent amount in our rooms right now. So there's 4 kind of going every single draft here. Do you have a lean in general on the Rockets side there? We'll bring up the injury report here because Tari Eason has a questionable tag. He has not been playing for, I can't remember how many games now, but it's been
like
at least a couple basically. Weeks. Yeah. Fragile at the best of times for the Terror Twin off the bench there. Don't imagine he'll have any huge impact this evening from a fantasy standpoint. but he will take minutes from someone. DFS and Fred VanVleet still out there. Thoughts on the Rockets side?
Yeah, the Rockets continue to be really difficult to figure out.
Yeah.
I really don't have strong feelings about anybody on the Rockets here against the Nuggets, even though this is a pretty high total game here. What do we say?
Yeah.
It was the second highest total.
Nuggets
on
defense has been the worst in basketball since losing Aaron Gordon.
Interesting. All right.
Yeah.
I mean, I would expect this. Yeah, I mean, I would expect to see some better like props, better projections on the Rockets, but you just really don't. You just don't, and it's just because these guys are like nobody is taking over, and I guess that makes sense, right? Like when you have Şengün and Durant, and then like Amen's not like a usage guy, but like Şengün and Durant are like really like sharing the load here. Yeah, like I'm light Şengün.
Okay.
I am light KD.
You have Amen over KD?
No.
Yeah, that's just such a hard decision every damn slate, man. I feel like I always pick wrong between the two of them.
I think I'm going to have more KD. The most out of all these guys will probably be Jabari probably, and then KD out of the big three. I'll probably have KD the most because like Şengün, I'm fading pretty hard, and that's not just it's not a fade. It's just I like guys more than him. And then KD, I think people are over fading. Like I'm getting KD at like 15, 16 at times. I'm just like, yeah, okay, man, I'll take KD against the Nuggets, like sure thing. But yeah, like Amen, I get why he's this ADP on a slate like this, but like I prefer the Jazz guys over him. They go behind him. So
yeah,
that's it's kind of that simple.
Okay. No, I respect the take, dude. Jabari Smith Jr., you said might be your highest owned of this group. Is that by happenstance, or is that a tier break? Is that a stand? What do you like?
I mean, just because he's the only guy that I don't have like behind ADP. You know what I mean?
Right. Sure. Okay. Any love for anybody else at the bottom here? Like if Steven Adams plays the double big lineup, Reed Shepherd played like 30 off the bench recently. It's been a little bit. 26, 27.
Steven Adams, if no Tari Eason.
Okay.
Mix him in the 6th round, and yeah, just hope that he doesn't suck. I mean, it's gross. It's gross, but yeah, if Tari doesn't play, you can mix in a Steven Adams or two, but that's it.
Okay.
And
if you do,
I don't expect you to have any.
Okay. Yeah, if you do just randomly get the Steven Adams double big lineup night, like he could do enough with a little in the last round to matter.
Yeah, kind of the thesis.
Okay. Let's move to the Denver side here, dude, because the jokes are going down in the chat right now that it's a Joker slate. 20 NBA drafts, 0-1-0-1s, donated 100, like that sort of thing. It's really hard to combat that this evening. It's obviously a great spot for him. It's the highest total or second highest total with a tight spread. Joker just continues to nuke slates night after night, and there's no real punishment to taking him first overall there. So, yeah, beyond the Joker conversation, do you like Jamal this evening at or above ADP? We haven't really been giving him enough credit and enough flowers, but obviously it's a tough on-ball matchup. If he rolls the Amen matchup there, maybe he can hunt Reed Shepherd in the second unit, and then we'll kind of talk about the auxiliary guys after.
Pretty straightforward for me. Joker is my 101, and I have Jamal Murray like right at ADP, but I am tempted to take Zoobs over him. But
okay.
Yeah, I've got Jamal right at ADP. I think you could take Zoobs over him and actually like have yourself a pretty good night.
Interesting. Okay, so that's a bullish Zoobs stance there. We'll get to that one in the next game there. Yeah, I was kind of just falling in line with Jamal at ADP. I was tempted to take him over the Harden stuff if people thought Harden would sit, but yeah, I mean, Jamal's had a really nice year. It's kind of hard to pinpoint. Like, so much of his success is tethered to team success and like rising tide lift all ship. Like, it's hard to play him opposite Joker on the other side of the board and be like, he outscores Joker tonight, so I win slate. Like, it's just the band of outcome is so thin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hear you.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess the one thing to hit on the injury report here for Denver is obviously no Christian Brown still and no Aaron Gordon, but we could see Julian Strawther return this evening and just kind of muddy up some rotational stuff there with the Q tag. He's been out almost as long as Tyrese, but yeah, might eat into a couple minutes here or there, but definitely not draftable on our site. The person that comes to mind that he could potentially eat into would be Peyton Watson in my mind. So does that make you, what does that make you want to do with these auxiliary Watson and Cam Johnson in the last round?
I don't necessarily think that like Strawther is going to affect them too much. Like his first game back, Watson is like a fine 6th round to mix in. Cam Johnson, I'm not taking at all.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just not a good defensive matchup, not a good catch and shoot matchup. Eventually, he's got to start hitting some damn threes, man. But I think both these guys are going to project higher than, we're going to be willing to take them, is kind of my mindset. Mm-hmm. Because if you give them full run, I mean, both of these guys could play 32, 30, whatever tonight. And that's hard to find in the 6th round, dude.
You're right. We talked about that. We talked about that earlier, but that is hard to find. But like, God, it's not a good matchup for them,
Yeah. Do you like Davion more than both of them?
Yeah.
You like Najee more than both of them?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So we're playing auxiliary components of other games and kind of just the stars from this one. Tough defensive matchup there. Yeah. Anybody else? Like Tim Hardaway Jr. is kind of like the poor man's Cam Johnson thesis.
Yeah. I'll shout out THJ, but no, thank you.
Okay. Sounds good to me, man. All right, here comes my kryptonite, dude. Last game on the slate, lowest total on the slate, 4.5 by way of the Clippers, a 228.5. We have a Grizz spot with Ja coming back for the second game here. We got JJJ. I mean, man, I said I was off it. Man. That cheeky little bottle in the corner of the room that's calling my name that says Memphis Grizzlies on it. That powder that people can't put down, the Ja Morant powder. I'm trying to go to rehab, bro. I'm trying to kick this habit. But when I see Ja Morant in the 3rd round and I see JJJ in the 4/5th round, I just man, my fingers, they just want to click them. Tell me I can't click them tonight, dude. Tell me I can't click these Memphis Grizzlies without Zach Edey tonight.
You can click Ja.
Oh my God, I'm gonna have 90% Ja again.
Well, not 90. Come on, now don't misconstrue what I'm telling you to do. That's the problem. I give you an inch, you give a mouse a cookie. Probably gonna want some milk. No, you got to take a little bit of Ja, man. You got to take a little bit of Ja.
Okay.
Right? He's the only thing going on this Grizzlies team.
Yeah, I mean, I'm scared a little bit of a limit here for sure. Like, only played 28, was it? Oh, it was 25. Beautiful box score, kind of like what we've grown accustomed to seeing. But, obviously that's definitely a faster and much better matchup against that Utah team there. I'm scared that we only get like 25 to 28 minutes of Ja tonight, and he doesn't run hot enough to matter. But
that's fair.
I think I would click it.
That's fair. I mean, the Clippers aren't a good pace matchup, but like they play defense like a bunch of old guys. Which hey, Clippers are a bunch of old guys. So I'm taking Ja, but like I'm gonna take Hero over him for a little bit, and Derek White for a little bit as well. But I like Ja. Santi is overdrafted, but I get it without Edey. But Jaren Jackson Jr. Finally is priced at an ADP higher than 25, higher in the bad direction. Dude, he's just broken. He's dust. He's absolute dust. ETR finally stopped ranking him and pick ADP 21. Even on a bad slate, Jaren Jackson Jr. is undesirable.
Yeah,
dude.
The jumper
you might not want him at all. Well, the jumpers never look good, but
yeah, the jumper looks like an 8th grade high school girl with like the staggered feet in front, with like putting all his might in the world into it.
I was gonna say he shoots like a hockey player.
That's disrespectful to hockey.
You can be sexist. Go ahead.
that's disrespectful to hockey players.
You guys can't shoot a fucking basketball. You're lucky. You're lucky you're the only one. No, these other guys can't shoot a fucking basketball, dude. He shoots like tall Draymond. Like he's not it, dude. He's not it. But 2 players, John. I present to you 2 scrolls on this slate.
Oh, buddy.
That you can get to. Our guy, Cedric Coward.
The Cedric Coward minutes are back, baby. They're back.
You can get to Cedric Coward.
Yep.
And you can get to Jock Landale.
Oh, okay. Yeah, backup 5 run this evening. Zoobs is a good defensive 5, and like it's kind of under talked about how good he's been versus opposing 5s over the last couple years here. But if we get the uptick in minutes and he comes off the bench and he plays over Santi, and Santi is just like not the big enough body to run at the 5, and you play JJJ at the 4, there's a non-zero chance that I don't think he starts tonight, but there's a non-zero chance he could start over Santi, and then Santi's like 6.5 man, where like him and Coward come in together as a rotation.
Right.
Yeah.
I think Jock's gonna see like probably over Pirtle minutes or Pirtle-esque minutes, and
okay, sure.
Similar production where like you're getting stocks. Maybe he gets some offensive boards and some putbacks. Like, I just don't think it's that. I like the Jock Landale play at like single digit drafted percentage, right, when I think the thesis is really, really clear, right? There is no traditional 5 on the Memphis Grizz right now.
Right.
It's Jock Landale.
Right.
Like, I think this dude's going to play pretty good minutes, stock upside, boards, putbacks. I like Jock Landale. And Zoob's going to be on the floor a lot, so it's going to necessitate a 5.
Mm-hmm.
I think Jock is like a sneaky – it's the J Huff thesis,
It is. Yeah, well said. It is the J Huff thesis. Okay, let's take a look at this. So this was their last game out on the 12th on Friday night there against the Jazz. They only ran 9, which is very abnormal for a Memphis rotation. But Jaw came back. Jaw is obviously running with that starting unit, plays 25. They held his minutes off in the second/third so that he could close in a tight ball game there. You do see overlap with Jock. So Jock ate some of those Jaw missing minutes, but you do see overlap with Santi Aldama and with Jock Landale, which is encouraging for the thesis. Cam Sensor, 25, kind of shot the lights out from 3 off the bench there. That was part of that pick'em entry. Shout out to that. KCP has been buried a little bit there. Vince Williams is kind of a nothing burger now that Jaw's back. Those potential assists have dissipated. Yeah, man. I see no reason to think that Santi is definitively a better pick than JJJ. Jaw is a massive rates guy and hope we get 28 to 30. And then Jock Landale could eat into JJJ and play some overlap with Santi, or could just play backup 5 run with Santi. And even though the matchup isn't amazing, if you get 25 minutes in the last round of decent rate 5 play, could definitely matter on this slate. Like, it's not that different of a play than like Khalil Ware.
Right. I think it's probably a safer play than Khalil Ware. Is it a higher ceiling play? No, but I think it's safer.
Yeah, good shouts. All right, cool. Yeah, I like it, dude. Any love for Cam Spencer off the bench, or do you think his minutes will trend down as Jaws trend up?
I don't know, man. I think they could use him for some shooting.
Yeah.
He's no Pat Spencer, but who is that fucking guy? I didn't know until like last week about Pat Spencer's. Pat's the lax player, right?
Yeah, I believe so. Yes.
Yeah. He was like the GOAT of
he was
lacrosse.
like a really good field lacrosse player. Yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
That's so
very cool.
That's so cool. No, I mean, I'm not drafting Cam, but from a basketball standpoint, like, yeah, they should play him more.
He has the men's lacrosse record for career assists.
Dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Snapping it around out there. Cradling it around. Snapping it around. Love me some lax. Dude, we play box lax up here, though. Like, in the States, it's big-time field lacrosse. Like, Canada, it's all box lacrosse. So they take the ice out in the summer.
Oh.
And then you play on, like, the hockey rink. And it's, like, yeah. And guys would, like... And, like, fighting in lacrosse is even more, like thumbs up and legal than puck. And it's literally just a street fight. Like, you literally just take your stuff out, and then you just square up, and then you just throw. It's nuts, dude. Like, my parents didn't want me playing when I was a kid because it was, like, the most dangerous and violent sport. Because you can just whack the dude with your stick, too, right?
I mean... Maybe that's good. You know, people have hypothesized that it's actually good that you can get your ass beat for being a punk. I think it's good.
Yes. Score one for the good ones. Yeah, there's our guy, AMAC, good Canadian kid. Says shout out the Thunderbirds. The games are electric.
What up, AMAC? I miss AMAC so much.
He is so fun. Got the beam on me. Actually, throwback to San Diego Dog Bowl last year. The Vancouver Warriors is the box lacrosse team here. And they sell out, Rogers Arena, which is the same as the Canucks. They just only sell the lower bowl or whatever. But they were on their way down to play San Diego on the flight that I was down there with, sat with the team and just, talked about the games and stuff.
That's cool.
Yeah. Cam Spencer in the last round. Cedric Coward would be my favorite. Then I think Jock Landell you've talked me into, and Cam Spencer. I think they're all viable there. JJJ just soft fade forever is kind of like the take here.
Yeah, I mean, you could probably just like get rid of him in your player pool and be better off for it. I mean,
all right.
I like where. I don't know, man. I think I've seen enough. Man. This dude needs a fucking reset. Like, I just don't know.
Mm-mm.
I do not know what's up with him.
Yeah. I wonder when the last game he reached 20 was, like, real life basketball points.
Right? Like,
a 5-stock JJJ game against Portland, and he only played 23 minutes and only had 29 fantasy points. Like, that's a vintage JJJ. Yeah, that's a vintage JJJ stock game, and he just didn't matter. Like, 3 years ago, he breaks the slate at ADP 16 with that, or ADP 12.
Right.
That's, yeah. All right, dude. Clippers side of the equation there. We kind of had the conversation that we're both team Harden over Kawhi if we knew he was playing. It's definitely safer to take Kawhi right now than Harden. Kawhi had a really nice game on Thursday night there, 57 fantasy points there in that Houston matchup, played 40 minutes, really encouraging to see the minutes kind of returning to full. We talked about Zoobs. Nez is on the Zoobs train this evening, likes the matchup with limited fives on the other side. He also had a monster game in that Houston one. The Zoobs minutes have been incredible. He's just not getting enough credit for how good a basketball player he's been this year because their team sucks and they lose every game, basically is the takeaway. But these three are the kind of only ones going drafted. Is there any reason to draft anyone else?
No, there's not. Very simply, there's not. How you rank it is, how I have it. But There's going to be some JJ. There's going to be some James Harden fallers, but if James Harden is like putting up a great score, then you're going to want as much of him as possible. But pretty great spot for Harden and Kawhi here, and Zoobs, to be honest. Big fan of all three of those guys. The top two at ADP for me. I mean, they go back to back, so unless you want to take Bam over Harden, you can. But I'm not. I'm just putting Kawhi ahead of him for now, just because that's how the field has it. And then, I think you could do Zoobs over Jamal Murray.
Okay.
Don't think that's crazy. Jamal almost certainly gets the Amen Thompson treatment.
Yeah, I think so. That's how.
Yeah,
I
think that's a pretty strong bear case. And you're also looking at a game where the rebounding is going to be really tough to come by for Denver. So as far as like second chance opportunities, shots per possession, I think you can count on that going down against this Rockets team. Yeah, I think Zoobs over Jamal is going to be my play, and that it's going to be a hashtag tip my cap game if Jamal Murray ends my life, which let's be real is probably going to happen.
I can forecast the box score for you right now. You ready for this?
Okay.
After the first 7 minutes of regulation in this basketball game, Jamal Murray has like 2, 3, and 1. Okay. And then Reed Sheppard comes on the floor for the second rotation and the second stint, and they start running all the high side screen and roll to Hunt Sheppard. And all of a sudden, Jamal instantly gets like 12, 3, and 2. And it's like in a 4-minute, it's like a 3-minute stint of hunting Reed Sheppard that gets him back to where he should be after he starts the game 1 for 5.
Yep. Thank you for calling out my future. I hate it. Thank you.
That's the path. That's what I see. Like that's the potential.
That's going to be the game plan.
Yeah, for me that would be the game plan where it's like you run everything through Joker for the first, stint, and then as soon as Reed Sheppard comes on the floor, you just hunt the handling. Yeah, kind of evergreen against that team. Anybody else draftable for the Clippers, man? Can we get a little extended bogey if there's no Batum this evening? He gets 24 minutes last time out, was shooting a decent amount. John Collins is almost as dead as JJJ is to us. Chris Dunn is defense first, but occasionally shoots. Yeah. Anything else?
Nope.
Is there any swap if Harden is ruled out?
Don't think so.
I think we see Kobe Sanders start if Harden's ruled out.
Probably.
Yeah. And I think he becomes like 6th round viable, but I don't think he'd be like my swap.
No, I agree. Yeah, he's not my swap.
Yeah. But 25, 27 minutes of Kobe Sanders is intriguing, but it is probably also, it's intriguing.
Yeah, 6th round, not my swap though.
Yeah. If we get that, we might not get that news before tip because that game is the late night hammer and it's an hour and a half after like the beginning of the slate and it's 3.5 hours after the start of the slate. So this Harden Q tag could linger. So there is a little bit of variability in the Harden Q tag where it's like, if we don't get the news early, you're going to be swapping to someone from that game. And I think everybody will swap to Cam Johnson, Peyton Watson, because it'll project the best. That maybe there's some leverage in me and the Kobe Sanders guy.
Yeah. I mean, that's a pretty interesting angle. The fact that it's going to be so late by the time we get that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, be ready on the 1s and 2s tonight, guys, for your swaps. That's 5 up, 5 down. Hopping in right now. Your boy's done 30 of them.
Let's do this.
Get the solver fired up here. NBA dailies. Bang.
Yeah, I'm heading out after this draft. But are you doing NFL? You're gonna do the PTP?
I will. I'll draft a couple for the people here.
Okay.
I will not do a full fledged breakdown for it.
Sure.
It
Yeah.
is
There's some drafts.
a very interesting slate to say the least. With it's not for the faint of heart because you're going to get a Q tag on Puka tomorrow. You're going to get a Q tag that's going to most likely result in an out tag on Devontae Adams as well. Nobody has any idea what to do with the Seattle backfield. Everybody just keeps jamming Ken Walker and thinks they're sharp, and it just never comes to fruition. Short week divisional matchup for the division effectively. After the Rams clinched. But I think the Rams are going to play their cards pretty close to their vest, and they're probably going to be without Devontae Adams and may or may not. I think Puka will probably play, but
I think so too.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're calling it cramps.
Is it cramps, right?
That's what they said.
Yeah.
Rolly
Doinks is in here. A former champion. B. Carducci won a slate over the weekend there that I saw. So shout out to that. As you guys can see, we have joined the festivities, Nez, and we have made a Christmas avatar. AD goes at 2. Is this Cade for you at 3?
It is.
All right. Yes, I've joined the festivities. We went green boxer with the Rudolph nose. You are now allowed to put your Christmas trees up because it is after December 1st.
Come on.
we have a Christmas tree plus elf like tradition that Nikki and I do. Like you put up the Christmas tree and you watch Elf after little hot chocolate and Bailey's kind of evening, and that was last night for us. And just because we'd been away and doing so many other things and whatnot, and I think I made it maybe 13 minutes into Elf before I fell asleep for the entirety of the program.
I mean, you've seen it once. You know what happens.
It's a funny movie. I like the movie. Here we have that big decision here. Jamal, courtesy of the projections right now. Almond and BI are up there. You like Zoobs. What are we doing?
I like Zoobs. I like Zoobs or BI here.
All right, let's do it. So Nez a little bit off the Jamal stuff today. We'll take Zoobs
Evergreen
here.
Evergreen. I don't know, man.
It's after December 1st. John, it's the 15th. I think it's okay to have the Christmas tree up.
This fucking guy, man.
Let the record state that, oh, wow. Rolly Doinks switching the build, flipping the board here. Love to see it.
Good shit right there, brother.
Yeah. Do you like KD? Do you like Amon? Do you like Lowry here?
I like Lowry.
All right, let's do it. The projections are very, very similar and a very tight band of projection there. So we'll take Lowry this evening. I mean, Rolly Doinks won a slate. What was it? Maybe 2 weeks ago, something like that. Mm-hmm. And this is the kind of shit you do because nobody's going to pair the Joker stuff. So how do you combat like the falling teams with the Q tags or whatever that fall back to Jokic? Well, flip the board and take 2 high projecting plays in the highest total game environment that nobody else is pairing together with Joker. So nice strategy there from him.
Yeah, love it. Love getting unique at the 101.
Yep. Duran plus Jean Morant is going to be a very common pairing because I think everybody thinks it's kind of like a line in the sand there. Tyler Hero goes. We're going to have the Santi Aldama decision by the looks of it. And I think both you and I are going to agree on the next pick here. I think we're both going to like IQ better, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I'd be team IQ here. Not concerned about the minutes at all after missing. It was an illness that he missed previously with. There you go. Rolly Doinks is hanging out there. always an interesting decision after you flip the board on the left side like that to just kind of like, do you just line up ADP because you've already made your big move and like kind of take the highest projecting ones
I know,
here, or
right?
do you do it again? Yeah.
No, I kind of would just like lean projection at this point.
Yeah. PJ Washington at 23 there, which seems fine. Just a little bit of foul trouble recently, but yeah, paired with an AD team. I think I like my PJL stuff a little bit more without AD, but in a vacuum, I think it's totally fine.
Right.
This Derek White at 21 is not going to be there if you get the Peyton Pritchard stuff ruled out. Although it's kind of hard to envision who he fully jumps.
I know.
In terms of like name value. Is this a palatable price tag for Santi? We kind of said no to the JJJ. We could scroll down.
I think this is Santi.
Okay. Get a little game correlation too with the Zoobs.
Yeah, good call. Good call.
Jaren Jackson Jr. goes to set cards there. If we're thinking through rules, Nez, I wouldn't put Santi with my Jacques Landell teams, even though there was a little bit of overlap there.
Yeah, probably not. Probably not, if you could help it.
Yeah. PT Smith with a team that I think is going to be probably duped.
Maybe. Walsh and Coward, I think, are... maybe I'm not familiar enough with ADP, but I feel like those two are going to be unique.
Okay. Filipowski goes at 32 there. Najee Marshall at 33. Kada kind of jumping off as a projection guy. Peyton Watson as a projection guy as well. Jakob Poeltl with our IQ stuff. Ace Bailey as a scroll. Who do you like?
I kind of like Poeltl.
All right, Jakob Poeltl it is. Do that. No Miami piece alongside it, but we get IQ plus Poeltl. Cade, Zoobs, Lowry, Santi Aldama, IQ, and Poeltl. Not bad.
Yeah, I like it.
All right, here we go. Rolly's going to show off for us with this last scroll here. I was about to click out of the draft. And Jacques Landell. Beautiful. Go, there you go. Love
to see it.
Love to see it indeed. All right, Ness, I'm going to hop in another one while you bid farewell to the people.
Yeah, good luck, everybody. See you tomorrow. Little bit of a true best ball review of the portfolio, hoops, and then I'm AFK on Wednesday and then back Thursday. So hold down the fort for me, as you always do. Best of luck. All the good stuff. Thanks, Sean. Peace.
Peace, buddy. Yeah, as Nez was alluding to there, we got NBA Cup tomorrow, which means no slate on our site just because it's a one-gamer. Going to be a fun basketball game, though. Knicks versus Spurs with Wemby back. Wemby's obviously played just the one game and played off the bench there. And then we got a two-gamer on Wednesday, Cleveland and Chicago, Memphis and Minnesota. And then Thursday is like a monster game plus the Thursday slate, or Thursday night football slate. So, yeah, maybe going to mix and match this week. Originally, we were looking for a potential guest for tomorrow to shed some light on the Underdog hiring process and that sort of thing and just talk, a macro lay of the land. I don't think it's going to happen this quickly. But in the future, we're looking forward to doing something alongside them, something we discussed when we were in KC. So tomorrow will probably be, I'm going to say playoff basketball. I know Crane and Davis just did a big thing on the playoff basketball stuff, but I think it'd probably be good for us to do a little something. We haven't done anything playoff basketball related yet. Let's take Anthony Davis. I think he kind of belongs here if he plays. I like him kind of over this tier if he plays. There will be rooms that he falls in, but the fact that he was present at shoot around feels half decent. Trying to think through some other stuff here. Yeah. Yeah, we're going to figure it out for the next 2 days here. We'll definitely do best ball review tomorrow and see where our teams are at. I haven't sweat at all. I haven't looked at anything. I have no idea how much Pitts I have, no idea how much Lawrence I have. Set cards, pushing that one up a little bit. I think we just go ahead and take James Harden here and hope that both the Q tags play. If Harden didn't have the Q tag this evening, I was thinking about this earlier. I think I would project him as player 4 without the Q tag tonight. I think Memphis is a good pace-up spot for him. He gets the jaw and all wave defense on one side for isolated possessions. Yeah, I think I like that. Nice team for Jay Baconator there in terms of projection. He gets Zubes alongside Brandon Ingram. I think I like Ingram a decent amount tonight. Interesting to see what Smokin' Parlay Pax does. Do I like Filipowski tonight? I'm a little scared about the minutes and that he'll close. I think if it's a tight game, he probably won't close. Yeah, I think we could take KD here. I think we could take Lauri Markkanen here. I think I'm going to take Lauri for a little bit of the game stack correlation. And I think I just prefer him ever so slightly over KD in a vacuum tonight. Minutes feel safer. Rebounding rate uptick when Nurk is not on the floor. So go ahead and put Lowry and Lowry and AD together with Harden there. Set the cards didn't want to add 3 Houston pieces together. I think that's probably smart. So he passes on KD. Hero and Flag. Duran goes there. Mr. October. Derek White, which kind of leaves us with an end of a tier here. I think I still like IQ in the 4th over this grouping. I think you can make a case for Norm. You can make a case for PJ. Santi is fine as well. We're a little bearish on Santi in a vacuum. Let's take IQ there. So looking at some of the projections in the solver here. Jordan Walsh, obviously, kind of like the worst projecting play relative to ADP. Jakob Poeltl looks like a decent price point. Pritchard with the Q tag is kind of popping. I think I do like Santi a little bit more than kind of like this grouping here. I think it's Wiggins or Santi for me. Pritchard's fine as well. He pulls up Kada. Let's take Wiggins. We took Santi last time out. Let's do the Wiggins correlation with the Toronto, with the IQ stuff there. Good Canadian kid. What up, Austin? Austin rolling through. He's calling for that Steelers. Big game Steelers tonight. Yeah, weird situation with the Q tag. Midday illness downgrade in NBA track record is bad. I don't know what it is in NFL track record with Jaylen Warren there. Let's see what we could do with this last pick here. What are we dealing with? I'm getting my football stuff ready for a half second here. Wow, 16 degrees. Ugh. Dang, I wanted Coward. Coward does not come back to us. I think Poeltl's fine. I think Peyton Watson's fine. I think Davion's fine, but I'd like it a little bit more if it wasn't a Wiggins team. I think Ace Bailey is an okay ceiling shot here. I said I liked Najee Marshall more on my teams without AD. Let's take Jakob Poeltl. I think I like it most. I'm a little bit more scared about the Peyton Watson stuff than the projection indicates. But I think what the projection is trying to tell us is just that they anticipate in a high total game with a close spread, they anticipate really full minutes for the Nuggets guys tonight. Like they anticipate, because you'll see Cam Johnson has a pretty high projection too. And that's kind of baking in the fact that they're both going to play like 38 minutes tonight, kind of thing, 35 minutes potential ceiling there. So we do AD plus Harden. So we get the two Q tags paired together. And then we do Lottery Marketing IQ. And then we go Wiggins and Pirtle to close back-to-back Pirtle teams. I think I like the Coward ceiling in the last round a little bit more than the Jakob Pirtle one, but I'm fine with it. Sir Thompson, I'm going to be under the field today just because I'm a little bit skittish on the minutes always. But I think it's fine. My swap for AD would probably be Najee Marshall. If Pritchard doesn't play, would you swap to Simons? I think it's a bridge too far. I think I would swap to another game environment to a higher projecting play. I would try and get, Pirtle or Coward or Rasar Thompson or something like that. I get the thesis, but Simons isn't going to start. They probably go to, let me think about it. I don't know. Maybe he does have to start for the handling. Fuck. I guess if Simons started, I would swap, but I think Sam Hauser would start. You get like White and Brown to be like the handlers. Walsh and Kadar still in the starting lineup. You bring in Sam Hauser, who plays like kind of like a hybrid off ball and just like more runs through White and Brown. That's how I would play it. Minot and Hugo Gonzalez just, play the non-Walsh minutes and non-Sam Hauser minutes. You get a little bit of split at the 5 with like Luka Garza and Tillman for the Kada stuff. And then Simons plays like 24 minutes off the bench, backup second unit handling, opposed to being the guy who plays 32 minutes and jumps into the starting lineup. I just don't think they like him. Yeah, that's kind of how I would treat it. I think the Kobe Sanders swap is really interesting late if Harden doesn't go, because you're going to get an ownership discount on it for sure, because everybody's going to swap to Peyton Watson and Cam Johnson and other side of the game. But yeah, that's where I'm at. If Simon starts though, like I'd probably just bite the bullet and be like, he's got the highest ceiling. The interesting one is if you get Brandon Williams ruled out and then you get AD ruled in, but you get Pritchard ruled out, you could swap to, instead of swapping to Najee, you could then swap to Nembhard, and nobody's taking Nembhard, right? Like Nembhard, he's fine. He's had a couple ceiling games there, but like if he starts and Brandon Williams isn't available, you could see more of this like 33 minutes that we saw and more of these potential assists. Like he doesn't really get to the rim that hard and he doesn't really score a bunch. He's kind of just like a poor man's version of his brother. But if nobody's going to play it and he's a starting one in the highest total game on the slate, like why not? Ace Bailey obviously in play as a swap with ceiling. All right, guys, that concludes the basketball segment. Let's just do a rapid fire on the football real quick here. Yeah, a little concerned about how cold it is with the snow tonight. The big narrative is that Miami flew in last night and then they practiced in the snow last night at like midnight or something, or 9 o'clock, I guess. Yeah, 9 o'clock Eastern. Yeah, it was something like that. So they landed and then practiced in the snow. We know all the narratives about Tua in the snow, that sort of thing. This is a pretty impactful, just like playoff picture game, just in general. Like there's a chance to, end some seasons right now. Like the Steelers are in right now, but Miami basically has to like win out kind of thing and stay alive here. They're not like out yet. So, yeah, we'll keep going with that. Oh, there we go. The Hot Sizz Oss, who had a massive winning weekend there. We gave him a shout out earlier. He's rolling through with 10 Badge Bros memberships. Appreciate you, my friend. congrats on all the success in 4 contests over the weekend there after the big avatar change. If you guys just noticed, I did the avatar Christmas change as well there. Yeah, Puka's got the cramp stuff. That's going to be interesting to talk through, but yeah. Reminder with snow, guys, like Tua's been bad in the history of Tua playing in the snow, but snow is actually like half decent for offense. It's bad for defensive footing. So this game total at 42 is actually not that different than the Thursday night total at a 44.5 here. That's going to be an outdoor game in Seattle there. Rams are 1.5 on the road. Steelers are 3 at home tonight there. Yeah, Steelers whack-a-mole tight end scenario with like 4 draftable tight ends really, throws the slate for a loop. Also the Q tag there on Jaylen Warren. So that could really vault the value of Kenneth Gainwell. It kind of naturally vaults it, even if he is able to play this evening, just knowing that he's ill. You kind of think they're going to lean a little more Gainwell this evening. We talked about the stat that Levitan had this morning where like these games just play so effing slow with the Steelers, man. Pass attempts like per game that are under that of just Jacoby Brissett on his own, basically. Like we're talking about like 50 combined dropbacks a game in Steelers games this year. Shout out to Lev for that stat this morning, which is just shockingly, like we've always said, never Steelers, and it's kind of been for a reason. Yeah, there we go. Oh, here we go. Post football. Can we get a few minutes on the Cena retirement? So I did. We were out all day Saturday for Christmas party stuff. And then when I did come home in the evening there, another reason why my football volume was a little down is I did stay up and watch the rerun of the main event there. Admittedly, was never a huge Cena guy, but obviously understand his impact on the sport and stuff. Was not a fan of how they took him out. For people who haven't watched yet, I'm not going to spoil, but was not a fan of the match itself and how he went out. I thought after he gave the Intercontinental belt back that I thought he was going to go out on a higher note than that. Did not like the final scene of Cena on a mat in a chokehold. Did not love that, but I loved the tribute they did when he was taking off all his gear in the ring and all the guys came down from the locker room and the tribute video. I thought it was very cool. I thought it was well done. But I was not a fan of the match itself. There's your WWE take from your boy. Yeah, let's go back to football here and go back to the rankings. I think HN, you want to mix and match this top end by all means. I could see JSN having a really good bounce back game here, even though it's a tough Rams defense where like JSN just goes nuke in the same capacity that Amon-Ra did all over the zone coverage. I could see you wanting to play Puka because you don't think Devontae Adams is going to play. So the Puka, even though the cramps listing and he's probably going to get a Q tag tomorrow with the practice designations, isn't a big deal. But I do think Achane kind of separates in a decent way. That being said, Achane had the Q tag all week. He didn't finish last week's game, and we saw a nice game from Jalen Wright to close that one out. There was some coach speak from Mike McDaniels that he basically was like, yeah, we rode the hot hand, and if Ollie was the hot hand, we would have rode him. So it's not like a clear flippening in terms of coach speak, but it's hard to ignore that 24 attempts were given to Jalen Wright here, and Achane's coming into the game a little bit banged up, even though he has that green active tag and the good designation there based on the practice reports with the limiteds and the DMPs. Like, I don't know, man. I think Jalen Wright's like a fine scroll the F down on this slate tonight, even if he's just doing backup run, because he could get 8 to 10 touches kind of vibe. And that could be enough to win the flex tonight, because what you guys will notice about the slate is there is one upper echelon quarterback. There's one upper echelon running back. There's a tier of 4 wide receivers, and that tier can be split right in half with the Waddle and the DK stuff. I think I actually prefer DK ever so slightly over Waddle, just given Tua's propensity to be bad in the snow. But yeah, I think these are kind of like the top of tier guys. And then there's like a whole bunch of question marks at the stuff behind. So I think getting a little funky. I like wide receiver early more than I like quarterback and running back early today, but I will still take Achan in this top tier of 3. So I think it's a tier of 3, then it's another tier of 3, and then it's either you stack Stafford with Puka, which will be repeated quite heavily in combos, or you take Stafford because you think he's a tier above and then you backstack him. But I think if Stafford wins you this slate, I think it's tethered to Puka. So I'm not necessarily going to be the guy who's galbraining Stafford and then trying to push Devontae Adams to the very end. Like Devontae Adams pulled up with a hammy. It did not look good. Yeah, I'm a little worried about, an older guy in the league. Yeah, pulling up with a hammy late in that ball game, or I guess midway through that ball game kind of thing. But yeah, I think if I'm doing the Stafford thing, I want it tethered to most of my Puka teams. The tight end position is an absolute dumpster fire, and that's magnified by the fact that Pittsburgh just has so many of them to draft. You could take 3 of them on every damn slate, and it's so hard to just determine which is the guy. Colby Parkinson is like way overdrafted at his ADP, but in rooms he falls. Darren Waller feels like my favorite tight end click on the slate. That being said, it's Tua in the snow, and we've seen Greg Dulcich, even though Waller is back, he's maintained a role. So like my favorite scroll would be the Greg Dulcich one where you scroll past this kind of stuff. You could play expanded tight end role if Adams misses, that you want to play some Terrence Ferguson instead, but it's a pretty far stretched bridge. Tutu Atwell, probably the best scroll wide receiver right now as kind of like the 1-for-1 X replacement. If Adams can't go, Adam Thielen, probably the 3rd best wide receiver option you could play on the Steelers there. Maybe he's up to speed now. Maybe there's a little bit of old guy rapport. But yeah, man, wide receiver gets thin in a hurry. So the crux of this whole conversation was there's ambiguity at the back end of running back. There's ambiguity at the back end of tight end. And I think tight end is misranked. So I kind of want to be the guy who gets 2 of these wide receivers at the top end. And then I get, my running backs and tight ends to fill out after. Very room dependent, obviously, but yeah. Yeah, this is a fair point. Like the big bodied Ollie Gordon bulldozing in the snow would be fun. Absolutely. I think they're both viable tonight, man, and nobody's scrolling like far enough to get it. I think I like Kenny Gainwell in a vacuum over both of these guys. Like just given the illness on Warren, given the usage we've seen from Gainwell, Gainwell's got that pass catching role more so than Warren in recent memory, though they both just mix and match like series. Like, man, I don't know what to do with Ken Walker these days. He's liable to just break off a long one, but we've been saying that for a long time, and he just hasn't done it. He's had all these smash spots to get going. He's been good contrarian chalk at times on our site, and he just hasn't got home. I think I'd rather play Corum over it. Short week, double running back stuff after Kyron just punched 2 into the end zone, just playing a little bit of Corum. Showed a little bit of that juice again there. I think playing both Rams running backs together is kind of like the optimal scenario if you're going to pair 2 together. Even though the Seattle run defense has been so effing good, and even Jonathan Taylor barely got there this weekend despite all the volume in the world. I think pairing like those 2 Rams running backs together is fine. Pairing the Miami guys together is fine. If I'm doing the Steelers guys, I would pick one or the other. I wouldn't pair them together. I just think there's not enough play volume. Yeah, let's draft it and see what it looks like on the fly here. Yeah, I'm done with Walker, so he's probably going to break the slate. Yeah, that's kind of like that's the sentiment, and that's kind of how everyone feels right now. And he is kind of falling in rooms. All right. Fully Loaded's in here. The Glue Eater's in here. And What is Best Ball is in here alongside us. If you guys look at the projections that are popping right now, they like both the wide receivers over Achane. I would not fault you if you want to draft that way. I think my desired draft slot today is the 103. I think the 103, where you get the bottom end of this tier, or you get one of this top 3 tier, and then you get one of this next 3 tier, is kind of like the dream setup. The 103 is kind of like my favorite spot. I guess the biggest wrinkle on the slate, guys, is if Davante Adams plays. And if Davante Adams plays, he's going to break the slate with this ADP, presumably. Also, just given how weak the back end of wide receiver is. So if I was drafting at volume today, I would be taking Davante Adams in like the 5th and 6th round. Dude's a dog, but they just clinched a playoff spot. Of course, they want to win the division and win the head-to-head against Seattle to win the division. But that being said, like, they can still win the division in other ways. I did say that I want to do the double wide receiver thing. Let's go ahead and take JSN here over HN. I do think it is a clear tier of 3, though. And however you rank it out is fine. But couldn't you just see JSN doing exactly what Amon-Ra did last game? Just sitting down in the zone, just always open. It was a thing of beauty. Well schemed up. It's kind of like JSN and Shaheed is like a poor man's version of Amon-Ra and Jameson Williams. Like, if I'm Seattle and I'm coming into this game, like, my game plan is going to mirror very closely to like what Jared Goff and them did. Obviously, they lost the football game, but double running back there and pulls up Warren. So we go ahead and get this 2 wide receiver start that I was talking about. This is kind of like 2 of the top 6, but we got it from the 102 because What is Best Ball pulls up the Warren situation. Really like this start. I really like the combination of the 2 wide receiver starts, or like one of these plus the other guys. I guess the best teams in terms of like projection that I could dream up would be when Puka is the guy who falls to the 103. Fully Loaded goes ahead and stacks up the Stafford stuff. I think that's really sharp. He's drinking the Ken Walker Kool-Aid. I'm going to take Kenneth Gainwell. I think it's a totally viable play tonight. It could break right in so many ways. Most notably, if Warren is unable to go, it would break right. Interested to see if Fully Loaded takes Davante Adams, if we leave him Davante Adams at 16, if he takes Davante Adams. Darren Waller goes first. I think he should be the 101 tight end off the board. I agree with what just took place. If I had to pick my favorite tight end on the Steelers tonight, I think it's an impossible task. I'm not going to lie. It's an impossible task. Yeah, but I think it would be Washington. You guys will see the projections are going to tell you to take Adams here. It is a big tier break. I think I like taking Corum on teams that have Rams more, but I think I'm going to go ahead and take it as a tier break here. We'll go ahead and take him there. Then we can have our choice of stacked quarterbacks, because I don't want to be the last guy left with Tua. And then we will take our tight end whack-a-mole in the last one. Yeah, Jonnu revenge game there. Easy game. Yeah. Well, here, we'll give 1 second here. Interesting. So Fully Loaded doesn't think Davante Adams is going to play ball, or he's minding his combos. And he goes ahead and stacks up the Seattle side of the game off of the Rams side of the game there. And then we will see who he takes at the tight end. I think I prefer Sam Darnold over Aaron Rodgers, especially if we already have Kenneth Gainwell. I know Kenneth Gainwell has a little bit of a receiving rule, but I'm kind of playing this lineup to tell the story that like Jaylen Warren isn't 100% and Gainwell's playing over him. So I like doing the Sam Darnold pick here. Unless Glue Eater goes double tight end, which I do not think is a viable strategy on this slate, he should probably take Adams here. But I think he should, I think he should probably take Adams here and then swap out of it after. But he does not. We're going to get whatever tight end we want to come back. And I think AJ Barner is like the obvious tight end click when we have a Sam Darnold's team. This team very well could be duped, but yeah. I don't know this screen name, but this is good. Being a man nowadays is all about being lost in the sauce and accepting fate. All right. I love it. I love it. Tutu Atwell goes there. I mean, if this guy, he's already got the Waller skinny stack. Woo! Goes all the way down for a Westbrook Akine. Scroll the F down. Respect it. Yeah, I think there's a tipping point here, guys, where you just take Adams. Like, Adams is going to go undrafted in this one, and I think that's bad. I think, like, even if you don't think he's playing, I think it's bad. From a game theory standpoint, you should probably just take Adams there instead of, like, Westbrook Akine. But that's neither here nor there. I'm going to stack up Barner. Just kind of gives you a little bit of floor at the tight end position that I can't say the same about the Pittsburgh guys. Already got 2 Pittsburgh guys on here. We run a Seattle stack, and then we just hope that Blake Corum scores on the other side. And then we see fully loaded, scroll the F down to the other Rams tight end and take Davis Allen there. So let me take a look at 2 things before we close out. I am going to, sorry, I did not have this pulled up. I'm going to look at the Fantasy Life utilization stuff for a hot second. Go ahead and look at 2 spots of leverage. One being the Rams tight ends. So Colby Parkinson, Higbee's obviously done. Davis Allen and Ferguson having similar utilization scores over the course of the season. Let's kind of just go to the last like 5 weeks here. Yeah, still about similar. Target per route run. Yeah, it looks like Davis Allen is entirely viable pick there. And then I want to go take a look at the Dolphins. Greg Dulcich still maintaining a decent amount. Waller has only played the last 2 games. So let's look at that sample. Yeah, Greg Dulcich is probably still my favorite scroll tight end. If you're going to get a little bit of an ownership discount. And then we could go ahead and look at the Steelers last couple weeks here. AFC North. There we go. Yeah, man, really, really flat here, but definitely Darnell Washington taking a step forward. Higher ADOT, air yards. If you want to play the Jonnu Smith, hey, we traded for him narrative, and Arthur Smith loves him, so he's going to get something designed against his former team in the red zone, I would not fault you for that narrative. But I think in a vacuum, Darnell Washington's probably the better of the plays. Yeah, they're all just like flip a coin. Like, this is an absolute dumpster fire. I guess the fact that Freiermuth's ADOT is the lowest and his air yards are the lowest makes him the least desirable of the group. But yeah. Yeah. Tommy in the lobbies had to circle back to the stream. Yeah, Marathon Monday. We had to run extra long because Davis was taking all our viewers early. We had to get the viewership up here. Yeah. I think the last thing to look at is Rams wide receivers. Obviously, it's just like Puka through and through. But last couple weeks here, Tutu Atwell returning, only 10% of routes there. Yeah, I think it's Tutu that will be our favorite. Yeah, Xavier Smith is kind of like, if you want to play it because nobody else is playing it and he's buried, you could do worse. Nice little ADOT there too. Utilization score is better than Tutu, but Tutu only played last game after Davante Adams got banged up. Yeah, I think the play, guys, is to play Davante Adams not necessarily play him as in, but select him. I know it looked bad. He pulls up with the hammy, but yeah. All right, I think that's a good synopsis. I'll be in the hoops streets. I'll get 20 more drafts in for hoops. I will get 18 more drafts in for NFL this evening. Enjoy some snowy football. Could be a fun one tonight. Best of luck to your best ball teams in advancing. Yeah, we'll talk about the best ball teams tomorrow. We'll talk about a little bit of NBA Cup, maybe do a little pick'ems for that. And then we will do something else. Most likely it will be playoff basketball tomorrow. Big shout outs to the community for showing out in a big ass way. Showing out. David gets 5 out here. Dad Mavis giving out 5. Davis is giving out another one here. The Miso Tuna rolls through with 20 and 10 there. That's 30 from our goal line stand winner. And then the Hot Sizzos, who won 4 contests over the weekend across 2 sports, rolls in and drops off 10. That's a grand total of 51 Membies on a Monday here. Much love to you guys. Much love to the community. We will make good on that. Wednesday's stream will be behind the paywall for sure. Monster stream on Thursday for the hoops, off and on the clock on Friday. And then tomorrow, TBD, but we will be back for 2 p.m. Eastern tomorrow. All right, best of luck to everybody playing hoops this evening. Best of luck to everybody playing in the Primetime Palooza slate or the carryover from the Sunday Night Football Primetime Palooza slate. Everybody's favorite time of the show. The end. Peace.